This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. Had to get up and get situated in my chair. Apparently I don't sit like a civilized person. Turtle said something to that effect past week, that I sit in chairs weird. She thinks my chairs are going to impel me. I don't know what it means, but like it does fuck up my back, my shoulder, my arm. I try not to lean, like I do this lean thing a lot. I'm kind of like a Larry King lean thing I've got going on over here to this side, and it's been fucking up my shoulder. I need to not do that. It's probably why Larry King looked the way he did, like later on in life. He used to fucking lean over his desk all the goddamn time. Posture, children. Posture. Not high enough for this shit. What are we talking about tonight? Gonna make you watch Ben Shapiro twice. So apologies up front for that. That's on me. I have an orange lighter and I don't know where it came from. Now I have lighters of every color of the rainbow, because I have like multiple just brand new packs of lighters. I buy them in bulk. I only keep one out at a time because cats are very apt to play with your lighters. And they end up under the couch. You ain't got no lighter. You go to smoke some pot. You ain't got a lighter. So like I have one lighter that's always out. It's kind of like I keep control of it because there's only one lighter at a time out. And my lighter was blue. I have an orange lighter, and I'm like, hey, Sparkles, did you leave an orange lighter here? Like, yeah, I snuck into your house and I was sitting on your couch. I'm like, no, I meant the other day. I just noticed I had this orange lighter today. But I'm assuming it's been here for a few days and I just haven't paid attention because I'm non-observant. I don't remember getting an orange lighter out of my pack over there, but you guys have seen me on stream, and I've not exactly been cognizant of where I am at times either, so who the fuck knows once I get off here and I'm in that fucking state, what the hell happens, right? Usually I'm face down on the couch asleep, but who knows? Who knows? Don't do anything I wouldn't do, though. However, that doesn't limit your options very much at all. Pretty much anything like violent. I'm not a violent person. I'm not into the pain. Those people that want to try to be an accommodating lover. White kids dreaming about their first day of school. I didn't post. I stole it off a social media site. I didn't post it anywhere. But that'll get me banned. Because fuck you, Amazon. Fuck you, Alphabet. Fuck you, Facebook. All you motherfuckers. What else are we talking about tonight? Talking about the investigation into the trans child in Texas. That investigation has been temporarily halted by a judge. The governor of Iowa, we watched her speak the other night. She gave the Republican rebuttal to President Biden after the State of the Union. She has signed a bill against trans girls playing sports. The cop in the Breonna Taylor raid, the only one that faced fucking any kind of charges, and he didn't even face any charges for killing Breonna Taylor, has been found not guilty. We're going to hear all about that here in a little bit. The second day of testimony from Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell. He's talking about inflation with the Senate. Biden announced severe new sanctions against Russian oligarchs. I had a friend on Facebook bring up the conversation. Why we are so quick to use the word oligarchs for Russians. We don't apply it to our own citizenry here. Which is a fantastic point. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mercers, the Koch brothers, the 70-something billionaires that we have here in this country. They are oligarchs. Oligarchs. Very definition of the word. What is it? Let's get the exact definition of oligarch. Here we are using it. A ruler in an oligarchy. Give us the definition of an oligarchy then. Let's make sure that we are correct on this. Oh, I thought I hit go there. A small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution. I thought money played a role in the definition. A small group of people having control of a country, organization, or institution. Apparently, aristocratic oligarchy is a type of oligarchy. Go to MW. Let's see what they say. Oh, that was MW. That was the... It's a pretty broad definition. Because then that makes me wonder what's the difference between a plutocracy, oligarchy. Government by the wealthy. We are both a plutocracy and an oligarchy. Country or society governed by the wealthy. Elite or ruling class of people whose power derives from their wealth. B-I-N-G-O, B-I-N-G-O. Speaking of which, starting off tonight for the first time in a long time, let's talk about Trump. Used to start the show off every fucking night talking about stupid ass Trump. That is a small group of people. I thought wealth played a role in the definition of oligarchy as well, but according to Merriam-Webster, a small group of people. Trump releases 415-word rambling response as January 6th committee accuses him of criminal conspiracy. What's up, Tones? You're on the Twitch. Are you back settled home or are you still on the road? Former President Donald Trump released a 415-word meandering. Is there any other press release coming from Donald Trump? Meandering rant in response to the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot on the Capitol, accusing him of criminal conspiracy. Trump's statement comes after he and his attorney John Eastman, who helped lead Mr. Trump's war room to challenge President Joe Biden's election win, were charged with criminal conspiracy to overturn the election. Facts we've gathered strongly suggest that Dr. Eastman's emails may show that he helped Donald Trump advance a corrupt scheme to obstruct the counting of Electoral College ballots and a conspiracy to impede the transfer of power, Committee Chairman Benny Thompson and Vice Chairwoman Liz Cheney said in a statement. Former president slammed the committee's actions and blamed media coverage of the laws. The actual conspiracy to defraud the United States was the Democrats rigging the election and the fake news media and the unselect committee covering it up. Few things could be more fraudulent or met with more irregularities in the presidential election of 2020. Trump proceeded to rattle off a series of unfounded conspiracy theories or claims made by Republicans who have spread untruths or called for decertifying the 2020 election. The president also said that people being angry about the election was why the riot happened and blamed House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for the lack of security, a common claim in right-wing circles. Nothing to do with security. Glad you made it home safe, Tones. I'm sorry, Spider. It's going to be quick. This is kind of big that the January 6th committee is accusing him of criminal conspiracy. The reason for January 6th was that millions of people in our country know the election was rigged and stolen. Nancy Pelosi refused to put the requested 10,000 plus troops in the Capitol 3 days earlier, as strongly recommended by me. What's up, Ginger? Welcome. Trump said the committee's charge is politically motivated and a means of stopping him from making another run in 2024. They really should. They should do exactly what the election commission in North Carolina is doing and sue to stop him from being allowed to run. The North Carolina Election Commission is doing that with Madison Cawthorn, the freshman running to be a sophomore. Eastman reportedly proposed pressuring then Vice President Mike Pence to reject the presidential election results during the certification process on the 6th of January. The committee is attempting to access emails from Mr. Eastman. Eastman has claimed executive or attorney-client privilege on those emails. There's a problem is you cannot claim attorney-client privilege on a crime when they're investigating the attorney being in on the crime. Trump had a pretty bad day today, I would assume. He's also going to have to turn over documents in the New York civil probe. Looks like the criminal investigation in the Manhattan District Attorney's Office is going nowhere. But the Attorney General of New York still has a civil investigation and do pretty much the same thing. Inflating his worth in order to get loans and lying about his worth the other way, appreciating his assets in order to get out of paying taxes. Donald Trump will turn over some documents to New York's attorney. And is there anyone out there? Is there anyone out there that could possibly dispute that Donald Trump did exactly that? Among all the fucking criminal things he has done, is anyone like just knowing him, knowing anything about him? Of course he inflated his assets to obtain loans. Bank fraud. And of course he depreciated his assets in order to get out of paying taxes. Tax fraud. Come the fuck on. Not even the dumbest of right-wingers can dispute that, right? Somebody would try to. Trump is going to have to turn over some documents to New York's Attorney General for her civil probe into his business practices, but need not answer questions under oath while he appeals a judge's order that he testify. Developments are part of an agreement on Thursday between the former U.S. president, his oldest children, Donald Trump Jr. and Ivanka, with Attorney General Letitia James. They followed a February 17th ruling by Justice Arthur Engoron, the state court in Manhattan, that James could enforce subpoenas for the Trump's testimony and documents from Donald Trump after having found copious evidence of possible financial fraud. But there's he is being investigated for crimes that everyone under the sun, like, whether you think it's a smart business move or not, everyone under the sun would have to admit that he committed those crimes. The January, and like, hey, I will tell you what's very interesting is for this piece, I felt like we needed some levity for the moment to talk about January 6th. I wanted to end with, a right-winger talking about the whole criminal conspiracy thing and get their take on it. I couldn't find one. Fox News has not mentioned this at all. I didn't see anything on Rumble or BitChute. Like, they're not even fucking talking about it. I'm pretty sure it's all MSNBC is talking about. Probably all CNN is talking about. Well, you've still got the Ukraine thing going on. January 6th committee subpoenas Kimberly Guilfoyle. We watched her the other day from CPAC. House January 6th Select Committee on Thursday subpoenaed former Fox host and Trump campaign advisor and the fiancée of Donald Trump Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle. The subpoena is the latest effort by the panel to get information from former President Trump's inner circle as it tries to piece together his actions in the lead up to and during the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The committee said in a court filing on Wednesday that it believes Trump may have engaged in criminal acts. Ms. Guilfoyle met with Donald Trump inside the White House, spoke at the rally that took place before the riot on January 6th, and apparently played a key role organizing and raising funds for the event, according to Chair Benny Thompson. The subpoena of the White House meeting on the morning of January 6th included several members of the former president's family and others. I figured there would be a Gutfeld or the Five, Fox and Friends, somebody talking about this bullshit. Like I went and checked old Jakey Poo and Dell, the smaller right wingers that I tend to troll. They aren't talking about this shit. Dell's talking about why inflation is worse than what you think. Biden did some good today. You got to give him some the Democrats done some good, but it was also a bipartisan bill. This is the signing of the bill that ends
Three-quarters of all women report that they have faced
forced arbitration and sexual assault in business.
And too often they're denied a voice and a fair chance to do anything about it. Today we send a clear and strong message that we stand with you for safety, dignity, and for justice. Forced arbitration is in court. In fact, forced arbitration prevents survivors from going to court. And under forced arbitration proceedings are conducted in secret, often by arbitrators selected and paid for by them.
Yeah, if you don't know what the forced arbitration thing is like when you sign up for like this gigantic company, say you work for a call center or some shit like that. Probably have all these documents you have to sign when you get started. One of them is like if you report sexual assault, you have to like go into arbitration with their choice of arbiter and shit. They probably have a company that they contract out to on the reg to do these things to try to keep it as hush-hush as possible. It's also a problem on college campuses. They try to force everything into arbitration.
Employer. And the outcomes of the arbitration are usually hidden from the public and the employees and co-workers, and they usually can't even, and they can't be appealed or can't be overturned. In some arbitration clauses, you can't even acknowledge that you're bringing the claim. When it comes to sexual harassment and assault, forced arbitration shielded perpetrators, silenced survivors, enabled employers to sweep episodes of sexual assault and harassment under the rug, and it kept survivors from knowing if others have experienced the same thing. in the same
Yep.
workplace. at the
Where
hands of
you're
the same
in
person.
a dangerous situation.
Yes. There will be cases where victims want their claims resolved in private, but some survivors will want.
And how many owners, managers have been able to skirt by because people are forced into these arbitrations and they can't say, they usually have to sign an NDA, can't say shit about it to report the scuzzbucket assaulting them. Be able to go online and create a group to be like, hey, you might want to watch out for this restaurant where the manager likes to play grab ass all the time.
Their day in court, and that should be their choice and nobody else's choice. But look,
So mad props on, and this is another one of those laws where
for justice,
this was, why wasn't this already a thing?
those who experience sexual harassment or assault, you're going to have the right today that you did not have yesterday, and that's good news.
It blows my mind how we even allowed that be a thing to begin with. And also announced that this is the fucking 4th or 5th round or tranche of sanctions, whatever the fuck you want to call it,
Before I begin the cabinet meeting today,
against Russia.
an update on Ukraine. We continue to impose very severe economic sanctions on Putin and all those folks around him, choking off access to technology as well as cutting off access to the global financial
Choking off is
profound impact already. And the goal was to maximize
something I do in the privacy of my
and
bedroom of an
minimize the
evening,
harm on
sir.
us and our allies and friends around the world. Our interest is in maintaining the strongest unified economic impact campaign that on Putin in all history, and I think we're well on the way to doing that. In the State of the Union address, I announced that the
Apparently Russia is still going strong, still going ahead, gung-ho with their invasion.
Attorney General spoke to that earlier, and who
They are
line
seeing some
pockets
dissent
of people's money and
among their ranks.
while Ukraine and the people are hiding in subways from missiles that are being fired indiscriminately in Russian cities. Today, I'm announcing that we're adding dozens of names to the list, including one of Russia's wealthiest billionaires.
You just made the list! You just made Biden's list! Oh, is that called a Carradine? Oh, God rest his soul. What a great actor to lose to such a hilarious misfortune. Also, another victim of autoerotic asphyxiation, Michael Hutchins, who's the lead singer of NXS, because NXS is fucking awesome. I want to call them underrated, but also they're pretty recognized as a staple of 80s music. But you can go deep into the NXS catalog. They are a fantastic band. How in the fuck did we get off on this? Oh yeah, autoerotic asphyxiation. Called pulling a Carradine. Great idea. Lift the sanctions on Venezuela. Let's fast track that Iran deal. Let's do some green energy. Let's fucking let's put a dent on our need and the world's need on our own. Let's export green energy technology to other countries. We could make a killing. We don't want to do that. The oil guys are still in charge.
And I'm banning travel to America by more than 50 Russian oligarchs, their families, and their close associates. And we're going to...
just now? Fucking as if they would come to the U.S. right now.
America united in support of Ukraine. and in our work to hold Putin accountable.
You would think they wouldn't want to show their faces over here right now. Apparently, Russia bombed the shit out of one of their cities, out of one of Ukraine's cities. Radyakin, town near Kyiv, where locals claimed they had repelled a Russian assault. This is the aftermath of what went on. God damn. But there have been reports that some Russians are abandoning tanks and like apparently a lot of them didn't know they were going to war. Like that's fascinating to me that Russia would just send them off and they thought they were doing some like training exercise or some shit. I'm not sure, Dustin. Like, it's so hard with a situation that's fluid like this, and I also didn't want to, I didn't want to focus on it too much. We've talked about Ukraine shit enough. I didn't want to do a deep dive. I just like saw that video though, and it broke my heart. I also found it fascinating. In 2022, we still have war like that going on in a major area. Like there's not some backwoods. That's bad. That's not. Because like that's one of the problems with the mainstream coverage of this occupation is that like is that thing I almost did was to say that Ukraine is somehow like more civilized because like fucking there's been major cities in Syria, in fucking Somalia, they're fucking everywhere as major city centers. Completely civilized and everything. That was really wrong of me. We've had fucking war all over the fucking place. I forgot the point I was making. I forgot the original point. After I caught myself doing something that I felt was a valid critique of Western media's coverage. I don't remember the original point that I was trying. Oh well, you want to talk about inflation? You want to move on to the head chief testifying in the Senate? Because we can do that. Apparently he had a little go at it with Senator Richard Shelby.
We know you have a lot of great, gifted economists at the Federal Reserve that furnish you data on every trend on prices and price that would tend, dealing with inflation, price stability in the world, and how it affects us here, everybody.
I know what I just did. I paused him.
The Fed obviously missed the trends there. Was it a question of not having the right data, or was it a question of ignoring the data you had? Because a lot of private, I wouldn't say all, but a lot of private economists predicted where we're going on this inflation, and they were spot on 2 years ago. Was it a question of, again, you didn't have the data, which you should have, or you misjudged the data or ignored the data?
No, it was not about data at all. Well, this is really what it was about. When inflation really just about barely a year ago, in March of last year, started to move up quickly, central banks and macroeconomists really overwhelmingly looked at that as like a supply shock, like an oil shock. And what the textbook says is the shock's going to come and it's going to go, and you shouldn't react to it. And so that's we looked at it that way. And I would say by the middle of last year, we started to move away from it, and we moved away from it at an increasing rate of speed. Hindsight says we should have moved earlier, and that turned out to be wrong. Not maybe conceptually wrong, but it's just taking so much longer for the supply side to heal than we thought. So in hindsight, you certainly wouldn't have done that, but I think there really is no precedent for this. We looked at it the way it was. There were certainly some voices, and they've turned out to be right so far. Ultimately, we think the supply side will improve, and that'll help with inflation. In the meantime, we're going to...
It's weird not to mention COVID and all of that. I mean, when Shelby says 2 years ago, that's what, like right at the beginning of the pandemic. Yeah, we hadn't come to grips with the severity of the virus, how many people were going to die. I remember somebody laughing at me when I said, like, we're going to get up to like a 9/11's worth of death a day. This is when we're at, a couple hundred, 1,000, whatever. Like, you could see the numbers going up. You could do the exponential math and like, oh, it's going to be 3,000 a day. Like, it was like 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out or something like that. And I was like almost spot on. Because like, if you could just read the numbers and tell this is maybe a month into it. Like, this is gonna be an issue. But like, we didn't really understand, like, in March of 2020, on March the 3rd, what day did the basketball player touch all the microphones? That was like the catalyst that was touched all the microphones. And then he tested positive, like he was mocking the idea of getting COVID, and then he tested positive like 2 days later. And that was like the national story that like really made people like sit up and take notice here in this country. And take it seriously for like 2 weeks. Billionaires sitting around like, well, that's enough of that. Let's get back to work here. All right, I'm going to give you a content warning on this one just because it's going to piss you off. We're also talking about an innocent woman that died at the hands of cops.
Just hours ago, a jury found former LMPD officer...
Fuck, and she's not going to get any semblance of justice. As if this would even be justice. He wasn't even charged in her killing.
Former LMPD officer Brett Hankerson not guilty on 3 counts of wanton endangerment. And it's...
Oh, I don't think he got it from touching the microphones. He, like, the press conference where he touched the microphones, he was just mocking the idea of getting COVID. And like that, and then the fact that he tested positive just like a couple days later, that was like the major breaking news story. And of course, because like he would have been in the group of people most likely to, because he's traveling all the fucking time, go to all these basketball games and shit. Of course, he was in like one of the more high risk groups of people that are going in and out of all these different major metropolitan areas, airports, traveling on airplanes. I mean, it was only a matter of time until some celebrity was going to mock it and then catch it. Stefan Dingle. I'm sorry, dude. I shouldn't make fun of your name.
Important to note tonight, Hankerson was not charged in Taylor's death.
The charges stemmed from shots he fired that went into a neighboring apartment that night. WLKY's Mark Vanderhoff has been following this trial since it began last week and now joins us live from outside the courtroom. Mark, what was the reaction inside the courtroom today?
Jennifer, Stefan, it was absolute silence. The courtroom was packed with Taylor's family and others.
Stunned.
Many were shaking their heads in disappointment, but the judge had warned against any outbursts, and there were about a dozen sheriff's deputies who were right here outside the courtroom and inside the courtroom. Even Hankerson himself was silent.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Brett Hankerson, not guilty of wanton endangerment, first degree.
Brett Hankerson was visibly emotional as the judge read the verdict. and he wiped his eyes as the courtroom cleared out. His attorney...
I don't even know how the fuck that's possible.
The verdict was proper, and we're thrilled.
Breonna Taylor's family, including her mother, declined to speak as they left the courtroom. Hankison was not on trial for Taylor's death. He was facing 3 counts of wanton endangerment for shots he fired that entered an apartment next door to Taylor's.
I'm sort of at a loss for words right now, but I think absolutely Brett was
You're at a loss for words.
Go out and perform your duty, and your brother officer gets shot, and you've got a right to defend yourself.
No. The citizen had a right to defend themselves. The legally armed citizen in their home.
Police rammed down her door. Her boyfriend fired a single shot, striking former Sergeant John Mattingly. Hankison ran around to the side of Taylor's apartment and
indiscriminately
a sliding glass door.
Indiscriminately.
What was behind it?
Exactly.
10 bullets Hankison fired went into a neighboring apartment with 3 people inside. The prosecutor spoke briefly after the verdict.
We don't have any further comment. We respect the jury's verdict.
During the trial, Hankison apologized to the family in the apartment next to Taylor's and said Taylor, quote, did not have to die that night. His attorney echoed that sentiment.
I told Breonna Taylor's family in closing argument, I tried to, that it was a terrible tragedy. It shouldn't have happened, but it did. And as I said in the closing argument, it all...
Yeah, we should hold the people that carried it out accountable.
Now, you just heard Hankison's attorney refer to Taylor's boyfriend.
No, I don't think it was ever proven. Like, I think it's a likely thing. It was like a 76% match or 70-something% match of the ballistics or some shit.
Endangerment charges are stemming. They have their own civil lawsuit against Hankison.
But yeah, it's still possible that like he was shot by another cop. But I mean, Kenneth Thompson, was that his name? It was Kenneth something. I mean, he admitted to firing a shot out the, like, the way he described it, the door came off the fucking hinges. And he didn't know what was going on. He fired a shot, which is his right. Kenneth Walker. That might be it, Flash. Thank you. But you know, the real tyranny in this country is not the cops being able to kill you indiscriminately in your home for being a legal gun owner. It's the fact that a speaker at a school or some shit can't misgender a student and not face repercussions. This is Ben Shapiro posting this. I have no clue what this is. I have yet to watch this. We're going into this blind. He posted this 4 hours ago. Speaker spit on after misgendering student while angry mob forms outside. Now this is a habit of right wingers. They like to go and since there's so many cameras involved, I'm assuming this was a setup. Said right winger went and wanted to say something completely incendiary, wanted a reaction, and then wanted to play victim because of the reaction. That's a card that the right wingers have been playing all over the fucking country. So I'm going to assume that's what's going on here, but we don't know. Let's give it a chance.
Don't you dare! Don't record my friend. She did grab my camera.
Okay, so I think because of the presence of this music, we're gonna get like like Ben's gonna break it down for us, or somebody with the Daily Wire gonna break it down for us about what actually went on, and we're only gonna see like an edited version of this. Ah, fuck, it's even lazier than that. We gotta fucking read it. On March 2nd, a conservative student club at the University of North Texas held an event featuring Jeff Younger. Younger is a Texas House of Representative candidate who reportedly lost custody of his children due to his opposition to the gender transition of his young child, which he claims was being promoted by his ex-wife. The event was disrupted by far-left activists chanting "fuck you fascist" and repeatedly and spitting on him. The dude sounds like he's a shithead to his kid and a danger to his kid, possibly. So, what the fuck? Hey, right-wingers, I thought you were on the side of family on this one. The fuck is wrong with you people? I guess there was some activist liberal judge in fucking Texas that saw this case and wanted to take this man's child away. Hell yeah. I don't know why right-wingers think they're allowed to just come and speak at colleges. Like these little Republican student clubs, they're very, very small. They don't represent a majority of the students. And they think like, you know, they can raise a fucking ruckus and get whatever they want. They bring on these speakers that are incendiary. They're wanting this is actually a tactic perfected by George Lincoln Rockwell, the U.S. Nazi, the father of the U.S. Nazi movement. There is a bias against fathers in the courts. A lot of people might argue like fucking my brother has had a number of rulings against him in the family courts. It's justified. Like he legitimately didn't pay child support. He's a deadbeat dad. I don't know if he's a deadbeat dad anymore. I was like fucking they're all grown now. But I'm just saying, like, men tend to be stupid and single. I shouldn't throw out Miss Andrew like that. How do I want to say this? There are whole pages dedicated to how men, this is the reason why men have shorter lifespans than women, showing them do stupid shit. And like, when you got a single man, they tend to, do stupid shit. I think like I surprise people with how like, neat my apartment is, and like how like I cook and I can clean and take care of myself and I do laundry and shit. I think that's not exactly normal for single men. And being able to, keep your house tidy and be on time for a point. Like, nothing wrong if you can't keep, like, I'm fucking habitually late about things. But, like, that's one of the requirements of the court, to be able to, keep your kids, to show that you... I don't know. I don't have kids. I shouldn't speak on any kind of fucking, any matter having to do with kids and parental rights, because I don't know jack about fuck.
You can go away. You can go away. Yes, thank you.
I fuck kids. Like, I do not like them. I never want them. Never wanted them. Always fuck kids. Not literally. Don't literally fuck kids. That would be bad. But, like, I don't like your kids. If you got kids, maybe you don't have kids. I owned a pickup, yes. And I have gigantic hanging balls, so technically. But like my truck had like for a little while, like I had like a fucking like a light that bounced with the music in between the headrests. And my I've always driven I've never had a car that was an automatic. And my gear shifter knob was like this purple light. I had stars, like the glow in the dark stars on the roof of the truck. Leopard print dye. I still have the leopard print dye in there. So like that's the kind of truck I had. Didn't have nuts on it, but like it had a lot of nuts. Had a license plate that said "FREAKIN" until I rear-ended somebody my senior year of high school. Never got the bumper fixed to be able to put another license plate on the front. It wasn't that bad. I fucked it up a hell of a lot worse a few years later. A pickup was wonderful for me because like I've always done traveling photography or mobile DJing and shit, so I'm always like lugging speakers and boxes of fucking camera equipment around and shit. At least a car when I moved in. Like I had my truck for like 15 years. And now I wish I hadn't got rid of it. My mom talked me into it though. Like, lease a car, lease a new car, so you have a car you can drive around the country in. You don't need to be driving that truck. That truck is gonna fall apart. I listened to her. That truck was the only thing of value I have to my name. Justin would love to be a van dude. I would totally get a van. I would totally get a van. Matter of fact, like my grandfather, he had a used like appliance refrigeration fucking business. And he had like a work van, and when he retired, I'm like, can I please buy his like van off of him? Like shit, like fucking worth like $500 probably. Like a fucking GMC van from 74 or some shit. This is like 2005, 2006 or sometime like that. Like I'd really like to fix it up and cruise around in it. Trucks are really nice, especially like if you've got some shit to haul. Like as I said, for my work, I was always hauling around speakers, fucking, and like the truck came in handier because if you've got something like a van, say you've got, you know, 2 fucking 15 subs, got a couple of tops, you got fucking multiple fucking big ass boxes of cords. You can't fit all that shit into a van. Cabinet speakers you're taking with you. Can't get that shit in there, but you can always fit more shit in a truck. You just stack it higher. Problem with that is I always had to tarp shit, and tarps aren't always the most reliable, and you know, unless you know how to tarp things really well, you can get wet, and like fucking tarping shit while it's raining is kind of hard. Yeah, especially like these, I'm fucking hauling around these speakers from this you know fucking music store in my little small town. Speakers are probably like fucking $1,000 a pop, $2,500 a pop. Fuck. I'm having to load them up. So they can go back to the showroom floor and so they can possibly sell them to somebody. Have to load them up in the rain and shit. Get them all tarped. It sucked. F-350. God damn. I can't. See, I had a little small Tacoma. Itty bitty thing. 5-speed Tacoma, 4-cylinder. It had a lot of pep, though. I fucking loved that truck. Ran it into the ground. Put over 250,000 miles on it. That is over the distance to the moon. I thought that was fucking cool. I drove it all over the fucking country. As I said, I was a traveling photographer. Traveled a lot during my younger years. Now I don't fucking go anywhere. I went from going all up and down the fucking East Coast to fucking sitting in my apartment all goddamn day and never doing anything. I drove a van my junior and first part of my senior year in high school because that's just what my mom had. And if I wanted to drive to school, I had to drive her minivan. If I wanted to go on a date or something, I had to drive her minivan, her Toyota Sienna. But let me tell you, fucking loved that thing. Loved that thing. Was kind of sad when I got my own truck. But I was able to fucking pimp it out the way I did. I put speakers in it. I had window tint on for a little while until I got arrested and like my fucking dad made me tear it off or some shit. So you gotta have an F-350 then, Flash. Out on a farm. I lived with a guy whose parents ran like a little, very, very small. Like, they had like fucking one bull, cows. I don't know what else they had out there. There was a horse stable. They kept like fucking 6 or 7 horses or some shit. Had a little bit of money. I lived in a trailer out on the horse. Really shitty ass trailer. This was like the fucking first time I ever tried to move out on my own. It did not work out very well. But we got to like fucking farm fresh ice cream. Holy shit. I'm glad I got to experience fucking fresh meat. Holy fresh beef is goddamn amazing. Holy shit. I don't ever want to be famous. I want to get to a point in life where I can have my own little slice of land and fucking have chickens and maybe a cow or something. I'm sorry you're taking a resin hit. I know how you feel, Spider, as I told you. Like, I was just there like last week or 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I lose track of time. I lose track of time. Good tidings, Spider. Remember, tomorrow night I will not be here for the freak show. I will be with Sparkles as she recovers from her surgery. I hope it is a big day for you, Spider. I am rooting you on. I'm not looking forward to... I mean, I always enjoy hanging out with Sparkles, but apparently, like, she gets violent after she's been on anesthesia or some shit. Says she wakes up and wants to fight people. So she already has it out for me anyway. She enjoys slapping the shit out of me. Hopefully that's not gonna go on. Hell yeah, Spider! Congrats! Hopefully. Oh, it's fairly common that people wake up and they want to fight people? Knowing Sparkles, like, it's just an odd quirk of hers. She just likes to fucking fight people. Oh, it is. Oh, okay. See, okay. I have never, like, I've never even been in a hospital. I mean, I've been in a hospital. I worked for one. I worked in the PR department. But like, I've never had any kind of medical issue whatsoever. I've never had any surgeries, procedures. Had oral surgery. Had my wisdom teeth cut out. Like, other than that, like, fucking, and like medical stuff gives me like the heebie-jeebies. Like I don't know what I would have to do if I had to have some kind of stuff done. Fuck with me a lot. Like I am scared to death for Sparkles for what she's going to go through tomorrow. It all gives me the willies. Like, and it wasn't looking good, or like her place wasn't looking good earlier this week, and I was telling her she needed to go to the emergency room. I was like, I'll go sit with you in the emergency room if you need to go. No, she went to the doctor the next day, and they're like, oh, I'll see you on Friday. Good luck to us all tomorrow. Hopefully spring is bringing good tidings. It feels good here today. Like, I'm in a much better mood just because it was sunshiny. It was like 75. Holy fuck, thank God. I had the doors and the windows open. The cats were roaming free. Smokey didn't know what to do with themselves. He had the zoomies and shit. All over the place. I guess I will be in charge of cooking for her or finding us food tomorrow night, depending on what she's going to be able to handle. Gets out of surgery. Man, we got way off topic of this dude because fucking like this is awesome. I'm sad like we didn't finish watching this video now because like these kids are badass. The University of North Texas. Jeff Younger, a Texas House of Representatives candidate, reportedly lost custody of lost custody of his young child. Thank you, Ginger. You're awesome. I will get her an ice cream with that. I will make sure that it makes its way to Sparkles. And an ice cream is exactly what she will want. You just bought her a milkshake and made her incredibly happy. Damn right, Spotty. Like, well, fucking, she's always down for some ice cream. We had ice cream twice. We had ice cream Friday night. We had ice cream Saturday night. If you joined us for the freak show, then we had, she made me make milkshakes. I had the milkshake microphone over in the kitchen. And then, like, we also had cake, and she's like, this is good dipping cake, and she's dipping it into her milkshake. I'm sorry, I got off track again. Chunky milk stew. That's kind of what it is. Oh. I don't know what time she's out of surgery. We'll see how the anesthesia treats her. Like maybe she'll be ready to go. We'll talk her into doing a freak show all like, post surgery. I doubt it though. I doubt it. She's probably just gonna want to sit around, get high, and eat. And that's totally cool. Never know. We might pop on tomorrow night and fucking surprise you. Ice cream fiend. They know her at the Baskin Robbins. Did they really have 30? Like, we had this whole discussion, like, me and my other buddy Jesse and Sparkles all had this conversation. Did they actually have 32 flavors of ice cream at the Baskin Robbins, or is that just some kind of marketing ploy? I fucking looked. I looked all over, and like I was like, this feels like more than 32, but I didn't count. I could have done I could have just looked at the rows and multiplied by how many there were. I could have easily figured it out. Or is it, do they keep it at just 32? If they add a new flavor, do they subtract one? We got to keep it at 32. I had chocolate peanut butter and I was very disappointed. Like, usually I'll get like a fucking milkshake or like one of the mocha cappuccino, fucking frappuccino, whatever the fuck thing. But like, I was feeling different. Like, fucking Jesse got my head. It was like, oh, I figured you'd like try out a flavor. Like, you know what? I'm going to have a cup. I'm going to have me 2 scoops of fucking ice cream in a fucking cup. I got peanut butter chocolate, and I didn't like the peanut butter. The chocolate, the chocolate was fine fucking ice cream. That chocolate was very, very serviceable. Very good, very good. The peanut butter I didn't enjoy. Felt like it was cheap peanut butter. Wasn't like the home fucking spun. I don't know how do you make peanut butter? I don't know if you spun it, you churn it, you whatever the fuck you do to the peanut butter. Was it like the homemade peanut butter that I had on the fucking farm that I lived on for like a month when I was 18? And the ice cream that we had made from it, that was homemade peanut butter, homemade ice cream from the fresh milk from the cow, the raw milk. Holy shit! Just saying. I get this goat cheese. Well, I don't get it very often because it's fucking expensive. Not a lot of it, but I get this goat cheese. It's like $8 goddamn. It's like maybe 4 or 5 ounces tops. But man, is it fucking good. But it's from this farm. It's maybe like 20 minutes outside of town. Oh, it's so good. I don't know what made me think of the goat cheese. It's just like, fresh shit is always better. I would like to see an end to the corporate farming, to the corporate market system, where we move to a more localized farm system, just because fresh is better. Better. The closer you are to the production source of your food, the better your food is going to taste. That's not an opinion, that's just a fucking fact. Flash, make you some homemade peanut butter. I cannot stress enough how fucking good it is. I'm sure like there are a lot of libertarians that they always throw around raw milk, but like, yes, raw milk is probably fucking excellent. Probably, I mean, I've clearly had it. I've lived on the farm. Duh, Justin. Everything fresh is better. But like, you can't sell that commercially. It doesn't keep. There's too many liabilities with it. It's not for a mass product consumption unless it was incredibly localized. Like, I don't know, like you had a milkman that brings you little bottles every fucking morning. That's how you're able to have raw milk and sell it commercially. You can't do it on a mass production scale, and that's why we have to have laws to assure that milk is pasteurized. Thank you. Hope I explained that well. Now I'm hungry. I don't want to talk about these stories that are gonna fucking depress me about what's going on in Texas and Iowa with trans kids. Apparently this happened in Texas yesterday. at the University of North Texas. Now I'm hungry. I'm thinking about food. Got Italian sausage I need to cook. I put it off. I need to cook it. I'd love to make a hamburger, but I gotta make like fucking pasta and Italian sausage with. I've got red or Alfredo sauce. What Justin's gonna do after this. I fucking like. I wish I could get the other camera working. We were talking about like fucking having a camera hanging from over there. That's where I placed it. Or like you'd have a shot of me over in the kitchen during the freak show. That would be super fun. I don't know why my camera doesn't work. I know, that's the point of privilege, that I can be like, oh man, I don't want to talk about these stories. These kids have to live this shit every fucking day of their lives, and it pisses me off. That's why I get so upset about it. I've also, I've had intimate relationships with a number of people in the trans community. And like I don't want to pity anyone. But just like there's a whole assload of shit and it's just like with women too. It's a whole other issue on top of being a woman. A whole host of issues I don't even think about, can't comprehend, that are just hurdles that you have to climb through every day. That's literally my male privilege, my white male privilege, all that bullshit. Like there's shit I don't even fucking think about. Like even Sparkles brought up, just the fact that I'll walk through the apartment complex. We live in a gigantic ass apartment complex. She lives on the other side. I'll just go in the middle of the night, stoned with my headphones on, not giving a shit whatsoever. Never even occurred to me that, that might be a dangerous thing to do in the middle of the night. We're on a college campus. Oh, fuck. I can't imagine having those kinds of parents. Like, my parents were like, I've got my issues with my parents, and it's not that they were like conservative assholes or anything. Oh, my dad was a fucking drug addict. The only time I had a good relationship with my dad was when we were drug buddies. Like, I can't relate to having the conservative family. Like, I was the most conservative person in my family for the longest time. Back when I was in my President of the Young Republicans, wearing a polo with slacks days. I'm unable to relate to the conservative parents, but goddamn, I know I've heard horror stories because I'm from a very conservative. I'm from the Bible Belt. And I have a lot of friends that had those kinds of parents, and I didn't, I guess you're not going through it anymore. You had those types of parents. You have a good relationship with them now? Are they accepting? Do you just not talk to them anymore? And honestly, like, I haven't talked to my mom and ain't really done anything all that. And like, fucking, like, it's not that like fucking I'm purposely ignoring her or anything. Like, she just hasn't called me. I haven't called her. I probably should like call her or some shit, I guess, just because didn't do anything horrible to me. Yeah. I'm glad you were in a location that is better for community. Oh shit, I'm sorry, Spider. We're your family now, though. Like, I'm your daddy if you need a daddy. That sounded like sexual, and I didn't mean into that sort of thing. All right. Dude, like it's insane to not have conservative parents if you're. I mean, like the whole area, and it's not. You can't write off the South. Not everyone is a raging dickhead. Yes, overwhelming. But it's like a 65-35 split. There's still pockets of cool people. I do not discriminate on age. There's like this fucking like 55, 60-year-old dude hit me up on Grindr, totally not normally my type, but sent me a picture, and I was like, you know what? I'm a little turned on by this. Hey, what you doing? He's like, I didn't think I was your type, judging by your description that says you like femboys and open to dating a trans girl. Sometimes a bear is kind of cute. What? Wait, like, I completely got off topic again. High enough for this shit. These kids protesting Jeff Younger at the University of North Texas are badass. Apparently, he has a trans child and was a shithead to them, and the court took their kid away. Fuck these fascists. These fascists. These fascists. Here's the thing: is like, that's their freedom of speech. He has no right to speak on a college campus. That's not a thing that exists. They pay to go there. They are treated as if they are consuming a product. They have every right to go in and bang on their desks if they want to. Good on them.
She. Oh, assault. Hey, police, I just got spit on.
That's the story we're going to talk about next, Spotter.
Sorry, man.
We've got good news on that front, though.
You're a woman.
I like the squeaky toy here. He's more of a man than you are. Love it.
You can stand up and spit on it. That's how miseducated you are. Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend spitting on someone. We are still in a pandemic. Don't spit on people. Let your voice be heard. Probably shouldn't jump on the table.
I want to thank you for
just because you don't want to give them ammunition, but like I'm totally behind your message.
I'm very grateful to you. Thank you.
It's their college campus. That is their right to protest. The right bitching about this shit is what is the form of cancel culture. Trying to shut down dissent. We're gonna get a tweet from one of the organizers here. Put it up on the week after getting death threats and getting 17K signatures on a petition to expel me. I had an event where I had to be rushed out of the building for my safety. Antifa cut me off and I was forced to hide in a janitor closet with the lights off while Antifa searched for me. This was like the Republican organizer of the event. I doubt that happened. I doubt that happened. Anything else to the video? We've got a little bit more of the cop footage. But I mean, that's just like, that's what the young Republican clubs do. They just invite people that are going to incite protest. Antifa shadow operatives. And of course the Daily Wire ran with it. Staying in Texas, judge has blocked a Texas investigation of one transgender teen's parents. Texas judge on Wednesday blocked the state from investigating the parents of a transgender teenager over gender confirmation treatments, but stopped short of preventing the state from looking into other reports about children receiving similar care. District Judge Amy Clark Meacham issued a temporary order halting the investigation by the Department of Family and Protective Services into the parents of the 16-year-old girl. The parents sued over the investigation and Republican Governor Greg Abbott's order last week that officials look into reports of such treatments as abuse. Meacham wrote that the parents and the teen face the imminent and ongoing deprivation of their constitutional rights, potential loss of necessary medical care, and the stigma attached to being the subject of an unfounded child abuse investigation. Absolutely. Clark set a March 11th hearing on whether to issue a broader temporary order blocking enforcement of Abbott's directive. God damn, it's still over a week away. Lawsuit marked the first report of parents being investigated following Abbott's directive and an earlier non-binding legal opinion by Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton labeling certain gender confirmation treatments as child abuse. American Civil Liberties Union and Lambda Legal sued the state on Tuesday on behalf of the teen. We appreciate the relief granted to our clients, but this should never happen, never have happened, and is unfathomably cruel. I second that. Brian Klosterbuer, the ACLU of Texas's attorney. Families should not have to fear being separated because they are providing the best possible health care for their children. Persons for Abbott and Paxton's offices did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Wednesday night. Meacham issued the order hours after attorneys for the state and for the parents appeared to her or in front of her via Zoom in a brief hearing. Paul Castillo, Lambda Legal's senior counsel, told Meacham that allowing the order to be enforced would cause irreparable harm to the teen's parents and families. It is unconscionable. It is unconscionable for DFPS to still pursue any investigation or inflict more trauma and harm, Castillo said in a statement after the judge's ruling. The groups are also represent a clinical psychologist who has said the order will force her to choose between reporting her clients to the state or facing the loss of her license and other penalties. She is suing over this directive. Ryan Kircher, an attorney with Paxton's office, the Attorney General, told Meacham that the governor's order and the earlier opinion don't require the state to investigate every transgender child receiving gender confirmation care. Abbott's directive and the Attorney General's opinion go against the nation's largest medical groups, including the American Medical Association, which have opposed Republican-backed restrictions filed in state houses nationwide. Cruelty is by design. Remember the woman that gave the Republican rebuttal to Joe Biden the other night during the State of the Union? Governor Reynolds, she signs a Iowa bill banning trans girls from women's sports. Governor Kim Reynolds signed a bill prohibiting trans girls from playing in K through 12 and collegiate sports that align with their gender identity, adding Iowa to a growing list. Now, I don't know, they fucking even included the collegiate level in that. Fucking shit. I mean, this is the reason they're doing this. I am sorry they are going after the trans community so hard. The reason they're doing this is because it's easy. It's easy for them to do. The polls aren't good in favor of, like, on trans rights overall, the polls are encouraging. On the specific question of trans athletes, the public opinion is not good. It sucks because I don't understand. If sports aren't about acceptance and teamwork, then what the fuck are sports about? I don't get it. Also, they don't fucking matter. They're like robbing girls of scholarships, something that's never fucking happened, first of all, by the way. They love to bring up anecdotal evidence of a couple. Usually it's somebody that, you know, maybe set a record at their school and then goes and places 12th at like regionals. It's really weird. Completely fucking blowing their argument away. But sports don't fucking matter. Who wins and loses doesn't fucking matter. So just let whoever play what'll fucking. If your high school doesn't have a women's football team and a girl wants to play on the football team, let her. Who gives a shit? If a trans student wants to play on the team, play in the sport, on the team, if there is one that is affirming their gender, let them. I don't care. With the NCAA, that's why it's surprising that they included the NCAA in there, is that like the NCAA actually has rules for like testosterone levels and everything you have to meet to be able to compete if you're transgender. They're actually kind of progressive on the issue. But they already have, you know, qualifications, just like the Olympic Committee has qualification. Now the shitty part about that is, here's the flip side of that coin. It usually penalizes cis women that just have naturally high testosterone levels. So all the people, and they're doing it in the name of protecting women in sports, and then like cis women have been the women hurt worst by your stupid gatekeeping. Fuck all the way off, you stupid trans folks. But I don't know what to do about the public perception issue. Because like I think if a child wants to participate in sports, they should be allowed to and do so on the team that affirms their gender. But I'm, in public opinion, I'm on the losing side on that one in a democracy. Oh, I fucking love him. I did a whole thing about him. Because they made him compete with the females, and like he wanted to compete with the boys in wrestling and fucking dominated. Max something or other. It was Max something. Mac Beggs. Fuck yeah, he had longer hair last time I saw him. High school wrestling career muddled with controversy. He's addressing transgender rights head on. I don't know what to do about the public perception thing though. I'm a communications guy. I should try to come up with something on that front, shouldn't I? Just like explaining the I don't want to have to explain trans issues to people. But that also shouldn't be the burden of the trans community to explain their issues. It's a bit of a catch-22. Like, I don't want to speak on race because there's plenty of activists, scholars who can speak on the subject of race that are far more suited to speak on it than me. But on the flip side, color shouldn't have to defend themselves all the time and always like have to be the one to take up the mantle of the question. It's hard. Like I'll give, if somebody comes to the table in good faith, it seems, really doesn't understand the trans issue, I will try to explain it to them. I think I do a good job of explaining just the fact that that's all you have to get out of your head is that gender is binary. That's just fucking, you just got to forget about it. Gender is not binary. And then once you, and I don't understand why that's such a hard concept, because it seems so blatantly obvious to me. Because you see the spectrum represented in society. One topic at a time. No, I don't. And I forgot my train of thought. I think I was finishing up. Knowing your place is also priceless. I always love it when people are like, because say I'm having an argument on the internet, somebody like steps in, it's like, well, Justice, blah blah blah. Like, oh, you had to have your friend come take up for you. You're like, no, I specifically tell people never to fucking take up for me. I am more than capable of defending myself with a very smart mouth. I just wanna, I had a buddy, he's probably over 40 years old. Bearded feller. Pretty rough looking, very country. And he had the realization the other day that oh, I'm non-binary. It dawned on him, and it's been a revelation in his life. Wild to me. I love seeing that shit. And I have a real problem with repression. Growing up in the Bible Belt and seeing people be repressed and it just eating away at them. They're fucking having to hide that they're gay. Predominantly, that's what I grew up around, people hiding that they're gay. And God, it just you shouldn't have to fucking do that. You should fucking, what is wrong with this world? as I was saying earlier, like I don't want to pity anybody, but like I've heard my trans friends and trans people I've been intimate with, how they discuss seeing themselves in the world, and it like their perceptions of themselves and how other people perceive them, and it makes me sad that they've had to deal with this just constant berating judgment. Pisses me off so bad. And there's couple that with the fact that like I'm in the broadcasting business, and there's a whole cottage industry that has popped up preaching hate against communities, specifically the trans community now is a huge target. And they make money off it. It's perverse. They profit off of teaching people to hate and making other people's lives worse. Specifically, the Ben Shapiros, the Matt Walshes, the Steven Crowders. That's who I am to be the flip side of the coin of, in my mind, with my online presence. So maybe one day I'll have a fucking 20th of the following of a Steven Crowder. Like they permeate social media, spreading their just absolute nonsense, and it pisses me off so bad. I wanna punch the bully. I wanna punch the bully. But my dick gets hard at the prospect of punching the bully in the mouth. Usually verbally in my case, but you know, if push comes to shove. Don't fuck with somebody that don't give a fuck. They can pocket sand on you and fucking start using foreign objects and shit. They will piss in somebody's fucking eye hole. Some people might be into that, and if you are, fucking hit me up. I'm into it too. Got it. Fucking Sparkle sent me some, like a TikTok or an Instagram video of something. This woman, like, preaching about how, like, you know, pee is all natural and everything, but some people do it in a weird way. That's Satan's way of using the pee. Something to that effect. And I'm like, I feel called out. What? I wish I had something fun. I mean, this is where like the fun, making fun of right wingers part of the show is supposed to be. I just have a feeling this isn't gonna be fun. This is just gonna be cringe. I thought we were done talking about the State of the Union. Also, by the way, apparently they're saying Biden said Iranians. I thought he said Uranians. I don't know. I don't. And then there's been a whole lot of good memes about the when Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene heckled him. Also, like, that isn't a hand on that dude's shoulder. That's the hand of the guy walking by. But it looks like there's somebody's hand on his shoulder. Or that Lauren Boebert actually has her arm around him, but that is not the case. This dude. But I think we watched, I can't remember his name right now, but I think we watched a clip of something he said the other day, and it was fucking stupid. From South Carolina, if I remember correctly. We ain't done with the State of the Union just yet, because last night after I got done with the stream, I saw that Ben Shapiro had posted his own State of the Union. Well, he's always behind a different set.
Ladies and gentlemen, we gather here tonight to...
And like the one where he did the 1984 and we watched it the other day, like it had a bunch of did they go out and buy cameras just for that? Like, that's a lot of money to build sets. This Daily Wire is playing with a lot of fucking cash. What the fuck?
Mourn the state of our nation, because the state of our nation is pathetic. And it is pathetic in the main because of the President of the United States.
You hate this country. You hate this country. Leave. If you don't like it here, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just leave? State of the country is pathetic. I mean, who am I to talk about it? I am sensory overload. Should probably be like my fucking on-screen name instead of Justin Freakin. Sensory overload. That's me. I turn music on the moment I get up. Like, it's like always fucking noise going on in this house. Always lights and shit going on. This fucking, the graphics for this show are sensory overload. I was seeing a girl, a woman, and she's from a more country part of Alabama. Super cool. Like she's you know, one of those blue-haired crystal, you know, tell you, you know, what the moon is doing to make you sad kind of women with the nose ring and shit. Like that's her, but like she still watches shit on VHS. Like I told her I would give her some videos for her kids, and like she didn't have a digital way of consuming said videos. But one night I pulled up you know, the Troll Patrol to show her, and she went, "Oh my God, that's really busy on the screen." So I'm not one to talk about sensory overload, but also like I have a gigantic ass TV as well, like 76 fucking inches. So she's like right over here, like fucking boom. On a girl that I don't think she had a flat screen. I think she told me that her TV still had like a back on it, like it was an old analog TV. So that was the really liked her, really. Anyway, Ben, go on.
As it turns out, we all should have listened to Barack Obama. In 2020, former President Obama said something simple yet profound about his former vice president, a man he had labeled his brother. He said, "Don't underestimate Joe's ability to F things up." Barack Obama... He
does.
Right.
You do, you motherfucker. You got analog TV somewhere in that house. I know you do.
Distribution plan for that vaccine. He was handed an economy that had been placed into an artificial coma in order to prevent the spread of COVID, but that was about to rebound to record growth rates. He was handed a stable foreign policy, and he had been blessed.
So he's saying the State of the Union is pathetic, even though he just admitted that Joe Biden was getting ready to preside over record growth rates. That's insane.
With the unending bounty of sycophantic media coverage welcoming him into the Oval Office with an approval rating of nearly 56%. What did he do with these advantages? He presided over perhaps the worst first 14 months of any presidency since the Civil War. And unlike Abraham Lincoln, our current crisis is entirely of Joe Biden's making. On issue after issue, Joe Biden is not merely wrong, he is aggressively wrong. He is not merely foolish, he is stubbornly foolish. Joe Biden became president with one goal, to enshrine himself in history as a great leader. Today, we can safely say that he is one of the worst leaders in American history. On foreign policy, Joe Biden has made America a laughingstock. Our enemies don't respect us, they don't fear us, they laugh at us. Biden promised stability. He promised.
They used to laugh at fucking Trump. We were indeed the laughingstock of the world under Trump, Ben Shapiro.
He would be the adult in the room. Instead,
I'm not high enough for this shit.
Whining, mewling, throwing tantrums, and then, in the end, capitulating.
Am I running everybody off? Do you just want me to fucking talk about? That's all I got left. Next thing you're getting is the fucking bird video, and I'm out of here. You just want me to talk about sex and music and shit? We'll shut him the fuck up. You don't want to, but we do. We have no reason to watch Ben Shapiro whatsoever. I am totally cool. We veto Ben Shapiro. What's up with you guys? What you all been into? Battle Opossum. You don't have to watch this fuck. Stick with me. He is indeed awful. I mean, sometimes he says funny shit that we have to, watch and mock. I don't know if he says anything funny. I just saw him post this and, fucking hoping for the best. Speaking of parrots, here's... God damn. I don't know if those are parrots. It's some kind of bird. Laura Keats. I should have consulted a friend. He totally would have told me what kind of birds they were. Oh shit! Thank you for the purchase, Ginger. I hope you rock it. I love the content warning. I need to get one for myself. I have not gotten I've not gotten new t-shirts since my first batch I ordered. I have a Right Wingers and Morons and a Troll Patrol shirt. I have a tie-dye Troll Patrol shirt you can't get anymore, unfortunately. But I need to get the content warning. That's one of my favorites I've done. And I want a Chris Dorner as well. I want my ACAB shirt. The Soros paid me to say it. I made the Soros dollar bill for my Patreon video. Is it naturally that purple? That is a pretty fucking color. Whoever did this might have saturated it a little bit more in post. It does look saturated. But still, it would have had to been a really pretty color to begin with. By the way, if you missed it last night, I'm not on tomorrow night. Sparkle's having surgery. I'm gonna go take care of her tomorrow night. Make sure she's got food, she's comfortable, we'll get high. But Saturday night, I'm gonna pop on, I don't know what time, sometime between Troll Patrol time and Freak Show time, somewhere in that area. I'm gonna pop on a Saturday night stream. We're not gonna worry about copyright. Just gonna be on YouTube and Twitch. I'm gonna pop up the Spotify. We're gonna listen to music together. I've got a watch screen set up. We can watch shit. We're just gonna chit chat, get high, say stupid shit. I've got iGame on a PS5. My fucking capture card doesn't work very well for some reason. I don't understand what the issue is. But I do have emulators for Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, PSP, Game Boy Advance, N64. I think I have a GameCube emulator, so We might fire up some video games and play some video games. We'll watch videos. Just stupid shit. It's called the Freakin's Fun Time Effing Around stream. That's what I'm going to name it. Twitch lets me do effing. I hope they let me do effing. I hope they let me do effing. They're kind of a dick. They're kind of a dick about the way I use freaking and shit. It's a little annoying. That's why I'm a little worried that I might not be able to use effing. Like it'll only be up live once we get off. I'll take it down. Apply with copyright on Twitch. Apparently you can do copyrighted material to your heart's desire on live stream, but you got to take it down. And then like it's gonna be like a Patreon exclusive for anybody that's just subscribed at like the $1 level. I'll do it once or twice a month. That's what I'm saying. I can't do Injustice. I might be able to do the PS4. And I already have Injustice installed on the PS4. You know what? You know what? Fucking card worked with my PS4. I might be able to do Injustice for that. Maybe they think it is a slur. That's possible. I don't know. I don't know. Twitch is weird sometimes. Twitch has overall been pretty cool. I got my letter today apologizing to me that my channel was wrongly taken down. Their sincerest apologies. Thank you a week after I got it back. A week and a half after I got it back. Yeah, I noticed I had it back, Twitch, but thank you. The apology means everything. I do really, really appreciate that. Oh shit. I think I'm an hour off. I don't think Echoplex is on for another hour. Tonight is Satanic Panic, Fire by Night, Scientology bullshit over on Echoplex. I know it's Media Winch because I asked her to do some shit for me, and she is on the show tonight. So at least Media Winch. I don't know who else might be joining Producer Dave. Do check out. I'm gonna try to drop in because I always enjoy Fire by Night. Deal. Do go check out Echoplex later for Panic and shit. I'm gonna send you over to Frims. I don't know that I'm saying it right. It might be FreeMZ. It might be Freems. I don't know that I'm saying it right. They are a friend. Won't see you guys tomorrow night. I'll see you guys Saturday. That'll be fun. Go ahead, light one up. Tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. Peace.